Today we're going to be fixing the four-wheel drive on a Foreman 450 ES. The front four-wheel drive hasn't been working. We did find metal shavings in the differential. I'm going to show you how to pull it out and pull it apart. First, jack it up and pull off the front wheels, preferably with an impact. Okay, next we're going to pull this little clip out, and I use a set of pliers like this to pull these out. It makes it a lot easier. But first we got to straighten it like this so it comes out much easier. And then with the other side, you take the end, push it through a little bit, take the end and grab onto it, and pull it out. I'll show you in more detail with the next one. Here we have the next one. We're going to do the exact same thing. Straighten the ends of it out. You have no idea how long it took me to figure this out. The easiest way to take these out. Go ahead and push it through. Grab the rounded end. Pull your pliers with it like this. Go ahead and pull it out. Now you're going to want to remove this bolt and also that bottom belt, and I recommend using an impact for both of them. Okay, this next part is a little bit tricky. You're going to need a hammer, preferably this size. They do make a special tool for this, but this works just as good. Now your goal is to smack this end with the hammer until it falls out, and if you hit it just right, it should pop right off. Apparently I'm not hitting it just right. Just like that, should pop right off. Next you're going to want to remove the shock. Go ahead and pull this sucker off here. Okay, pull your shock out of the way. Pull your A-arm down. Go ahead and push your CV axle through. You should have removed this bolt and also the bottom bolt or nut. Just lift it up till that pops out. And while you're holding this, go ahead, give it a tug and pull that axle right out. Do this with both sides until you have both sides of both these axles out. Okay, now we're going to go to the differential and pulling the differential out. We're going to go ahead and remove this bolt, and this bolt and nut. And you're going to need a 12mm for all of them. Okay, now we're going to want to remove the rear bolt. There, you see, it's a bolt that goes all the way through. It does not have a nut on the other end. It has a welded nut, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to go ahead and pull it off though. Now I'm going to use an impact because that's the easiest way to do it. Okay, now we're going to want to remove this plastic casing right here because we want to get all the wiring off of it. So these are two 8mm. Go ahead, just spin them off of there real fast. Okay. The next one we're going to want to pull off is this front sensor here, and these are two 10mm bolts. I figured that's a lot better than trying to take the connector off and risking breaking it. Okay, now that you've got this front case off, we need to unhook this connector here and pull this sensor out. That way we have all the electrical. As you can see, I pulled the front sensor out here and I have the bolts put back, so that way I know where they go. Okay, as I've pulled the rear sensor out, I can tell that I have some problems just because of the markings and the groovings that are on it. I did pull some metal pieces out of it that were stuck to the magnet. Obviously this is one of my problems, so this is actually going to have to be replaced on my machine. Be sure to read the codes before completely disassembling your quad. That way you know what's actually wrong with it. Okay, now remove the mount and also the vent line here. Use a pair of pliers, just pull that off, and remove this bolt here in the top. Okay, next we need to pull the drive line out. So next we need to grab this rubber boot that's right inside of there. I'm going to try to show you as well best I can. This rubber boot has a couple of spring clips or spring retainers on it around the edges, around the ends. It needs to be pulled back so that you can slide that back. I'll show you in just a second. Okay, this is a little more difficult part, and this is to remove the remove the front drive line here. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken a pry bar and I've moved the differential to the front as far as I can. You see how my holes aren't lined up anymore? And then if you can see in there, this might be easier if you took off one of the side panels, but the drive line in the front part, this bell here, it has a spring inside of here. Now if you take it and you pull on it, it pulls the drive line out, and then you want to take it to the right from where you're standing right here. That way you can pull the drive line from the front or from the rear of the differential. See, it pulls out of here, but you have to pull it from the front here first. It has a spring in there. It might be a little bit stubborn at first to get out of there, but it normally isn't. It really isn't that difficult. If you want, I'm lazy and I'm not gonna do this, but you can pull this side step off here and then actually get to it right inside of there, and you can see that I've got it off already. Okay, this part takes a little bit of strategy. We're going to go ahead and pull this differential out of here. Don't worry, it does come out. Go ahead and slide it like that. Lift all this up. Careful of your sensors and your wires. Slide it right out. That is our finished product. Next we're going to go ahead and drain the oil out of it. Okay, now that we have the differential out, we're going to go ahead and pull these seals out of here. I'll use a seal puller. It's the easiest way to do it. Now that we have the seals off, we're going to go ahead and pop the middle of this apart.